The air in the hill country of Judea hung thick and still, scented with sun-baked earth and the faint, sweet perfume of ripening figs. It was a place where time seemed to slow, where the rhythm of life was dictated by the sun's arc and the bleating of distant sheep. And in this quiet corner of the world, nestled in a small village where the houses clung to the hillside like weathered stones, resided Zechariah, a priest of the division of Abijah. Zechariah was a man of God, his days marked by diligent service in the temple at Jerusalem, his heart attuned to the ancient prophecies. Yet, as the years accumulated like dust on the scrolls, so too did a quiet ache within him. He and his wife Elizabeth, a woman of righteous lineage, had lived a life of devotion, their home a sanctuary of prayer and faithfulness. But the joyful sound of a child's laughter had never echoed within their walls. Their lives, outwardly blessed, held a profound emptiness, a yearning that grew with each passing season. One day, as the incense smoke curled towards the heavens in the holy place, a moment of unparalleled divine intimacy unfolded. Zechariah, chosen by Lot to perform the sacred duty of burning the incense, stood alone before the Arkansas. The hush of the temple was broken only by the frantic beating of his own heart. And then it happened. An angel, radiating a light that was not of this world, stood to the right of the altar of incense. Not a flickering shadow, not a whisper on the breeze, but a manifestation so solid, so undeniably present, that Zechariah's breath caught in his throat. Fear primal and absolute gripped him. He saw not an illusion, nor a figment of his weary mind, but the very emissary of the Most High. "Do not be afraid, Zechariah," the angel's voice resonated, not just in his ears, but in the very depths of his soul. It was a voice that carried the weight of eternity, a voice that spoke of purpose and profound significance. "Your prayer has been heard." Zechariah, a man accustomed to the divine presence in the temple, was still struck silent by this singular, personal encounter. His prayer, a silent, persistent plea carried on the wind for decades, had finally attained an audience. The angel continued, his words weaving a tapestry of destiny. "Your wife Elizabeth will bear you a son, and you are to give him the name John." The very air seemed to hum with the announcement. A son. After years of barrenness, of whispered hopes and resigned sighs, a son was promised. But the angel's message did not stop there. He spoke of this child's future, of a life consecrated from the womb, a life that would prepare the way for something immeasurably greater. "He will be great in the sight of the Lord," the angel declared, the words echoing with a power that transcended earthly accolades. "He will never drink wine or other fermented drink, and he will be filled with the Holy Spirit from birth." This was no ordinary birth, no ordinary child. This was a divinely orchestrated intervention, a precursor to a movement that would shake the foundations of the world. Zechariah, still reeling, felt his understanding expand. This son, his son, was to be a prophet, a voice crying in the wilderness, a herald of a coming king. But the weight of such a promise, the sheer magnitude of God's plan, pressed down on him. "How can I be sure of this?" Zechariah stammered, the rational mind wrestling with the divine revelation. "I am an old man, and my wife is well advanced in years." The angel, with a patient authority, responded, "I am Gabriel. I stand in the presence of God, and I have been sent to speak to you and to announce this good news to you." The angel's identity was a confirmation, a seal of divine authenticity. And for his doubt, for his human faltering, a consequence was given. "And behold, you will be mute and unable to speak until the day that these things take place, because you did not believe my words, which will be fulfilled in their proper time." A profound silence fell upon Zechariah, not just the absence of sound, but a silencing of his own voice, a physical manifestation of his human frailty in the face of God's omnipotence. He had seen the impossible, heard the unbelievable, and for a moment, his faith had faltered. When the people gathered outside the temple, wondering at his delay, Zechariah emerged, unable to utter a word. But he could communicate, his eyes alight with the monumental revelation, his gestures conveying the incomprehensible. He beckoned them, his face a canvas of awe and burgeoning joy. He had witnessed God's meticulous plan unfold, a plan that began not in palaces or grand pronouncements, but in the quiet heart of a humble priest, in the simple yearning of a barren couple, in the very air of a secluded village. And as Zechariah returned to his home, a new understanding permeated his days. Though his voice was stilled, his spirit sang with the dawning of a new era. He and Elizabeth in their advanced years now held a secret, a promise that defied all expectation. The God of Abraham, of Isaac, of Jacob, was not a distant deity of ancient texts, but a living, breathing reality, intimately involved in the unfolding of human history, choosing the most unlikely of circumstances to bring forth his most extraordinary purposes. And in the quiet anticipation of John's arrival, the world held its breath, unaware of the profound ripple that was about to emanate from a humble home in the hills of Judea. God was real, and his plan, vast and beautiful, was already in motion.